What's up? So, in this topic right here, this next my friendship with topic, it's gonna be about me and Arnaldo. Now, at one point, me and Arnaldo were pretty close friends, dating back to our days in high school, and you know, I'm sure, and even back in, well, somewhat back in junior high, although, you know, it wasn't until toward the end of eighth grade when we were close to our promotion that you know I didn't like really approach it. He approached me, and that was to the point where we started to develop our friendship. Because I remember even in promotion day, and I have a picture with him. I wish I could just find it. I couldn't find the photo in my phone here, But I know I have it. I have the hard copy. I just don't know where it is. Yeah, I had a picture with him, with our promotion certificates, from when we passed junior high, right? We were promoted to high school. We eventually ended up going to the same high school in Magnolia. So I think so. Like I said, it wasn't until the promotion, or at least close to to promotion, that we started to you know to talk more, and from there we just developed our friendship. That's how I got to know Arnaldo, and even going forward, you know, throughout high school in all our 4 years. And you know, I'm trying to remember if I had any other classes with him other than a PE class. For all I remember, I thought I had him for another class, but the only thing I can remember is PE. Even going back to what was it, junior high. I'm trying to remember if I had uh, a class with him. I was thinking it's a math class, but what the hey, I can't really remember. So I remember a lot of things, but this is only one of the few instances that I don't remember because our friendship, you know in the long term didn't really last very long. And this was like after we graduated from high school. You know what I'm saying? So I'll get into that into the later part of this video. But first, I just want to briefly recap how our friendship started. So basically, like I said, we started to talk more during our promote, like towards the end of our eighth grade, and we started becoming close. We developed our friendship going into high school. Now, I think I remember more, that our friendship started to get closer. It started to strengthen by junior and senior year, because I remembered Arnaldo was part of the group with me, Vivian, and Tristan and Juan. We actually formed that group, because I remember the days like when we had these group hangouts, and I remember the time we did a movie hop, if I remember correctly, where it was all five of us, and we watched two movies. I think one of them was Blade Runner. This was like back in 2005. And also, I remember the Knott's Berry Farm one. I still have the group picture, the one on the day that Kobe scored 62 points against the Mavs in that win in Staples Center. Yeah, I still have that group picture, but I feel like we had a pretty good group. There was some drama, right? But for the most part, we had kept it close. So that was just that was like before the Nutbwallers. That was the only other group we had, but it was mostly during the time that we were in high school, and even a little bit after that. When some of us started college, right? So me and Arnaldo's friendship had developed even further, um, going to the 11th and 12th grade. So I remember a time when it was me, him, and I'm trying to remember if Tristan was there at his house. He didn't live that far at all. He he lived pretty close to Dale, and he was just in Anaheim, I think. Or what was his house was right off of that street called Stony Brook, somewhere in Anaheim. But he's not very far from both Magnolia and Dale, you know. So yeah, we did a study time. That was, I think that was the first time I went to his house because we did some studying, and I forgot what we studied for, and I totally forgot what class we had together at that time. I could have sworn it had to be. I can't really remember from the top of my head. I don't even know if it was a math class because I know I took pre-cal in my senior year. I know I took AP Physics in my senior year. I don't know if he was in any of those classes with me. So you know, it's or maybe he just had one of those classes, and he wasn't directly my classmate. But anyways, man, just like yeah, we were close for a while, and then I remember sometime after high school, and after we graduated from high school, we he actually moved to Utah, and I don't know if this was like during. I know it was sometime during my college career, and I don't know if it was like in the middle or if it was like in the beginning. I just know he moved to Utah in I think it was in my second semester, or dare I say my second year. Sorry, and when I was in Cyprus College, I think it wasn't sometime in 2006 that he moved to Utah. So from there, our friendship started to become distant as soon as he moved. And I do agree with what the news said over there, where it says staying active decreases the risk of dying. I totally agree with that. Now, as far as doing a video on that, I don't know if I will. Maybe I'll get to it. I remember telling myself that there will be certain quotes that I will make videos off of, and one of them was, the one from Paula's email response, where I addressed her perception on job raises, with her experience on realizing like how people earn raises as far as like, you know, job experience and all that. I had already addressed that last Friday, so maybe I'll do one on this. Maybe I won't. I remember seeing Robin from Sports and Fitness Rants, a video where, you know, you don't want to be too lazy even if you're on vacation. You want to stay active, and it solidified his point that you got to do something. You know, even if you want to enjoy life, stay active, doing something, do some exercise. And this kind of goes to where I said, hey, I feel tired, but I feel tired in a good way because I'm doing something that I enjoy. And even if it's like exercising, like going hiking or running on a trail, running alongside nature and all that, that's like good exercise and getting tired in a good way. But anyways, I don't mean to ramble off of this, as I'm trying to get back to this topic with Arnaldo. So yeah, our friendship just started becoming distant from there. So as he started to live in Utah, and it's like from there it just started to slowly fade, and that it has gone to a point where, yeah, I mean, I've had him on Facebook, but then the closeness that we had in our friendship had faded. So he has pretty much moved on with his life. And when you're somebody like Arnaldo or Tristan that moves to a different state, obviously, and you tend to lose that closeness over time. But obviously that does not mean that the friendship is gonna be really close to ending. The reason why Tristan and our friendship ended is because of a misunderstanding. Obviously, had that not been the case, we would definitely still be close. It's just that we're not going to be able to hang out, and but that closeness will still be there. Now, of course, there'll always be opportunities for guys like him and Alexis to visit. And with the case of Alexis, he has not visited SoCal in the longest time I can remember, and especially since he has had changed jobs in the last several years, to the point that he has not been able to visit once a year, since what I think 2018 was the last time I remember, and I wasn't able to see him at all. The last time I saw him when he visited here was 2017, and that was pretty much it. So we did not see each other at all, post pandemic. Now, if Tristan and I remained friends to this day, I'm pretty sure I would still be able to see him, you know. But the fact that I've known him longer, him and I had a closer friendship than me and Arnaldo. Let's just be honest with that, and I think we'll still have opportunities to hang whenever he visits here. So it's not like I would never see him again. You know what I'm saying? Even if I were to move to a different state, I'll still have opportunities to visit and hang out with with my guys. You know what I mean? So in the case of me and Arnaldo, yes, we were close back in high school, and even in even when we left to Utah shortly, the closeness was still there. But then over time, our that closeness just faded because as close as our friendship was during our high school days, it was not the kind of close that I had with Tristan. Tristan and I have always hung out. Like we hung out like practically almost every day. Like way back in in 2007 when our friendship started to strengthen. Because we always went to each other's houses. Even though I went to his house even more, we did more stuff, and we just did a lot of things. He was even shortly part of the Nutbwallers group before he, quote unquote, took a leave of absence in 2014. So, as far as me and Arnaldo's friendship is concerned, when it became distant, that closeness was had faded as well, because he wasn't the kind of close friend that that Russ, Julio, Robbie, Dewey, Neil, Ray, Abbas, obviously, guys like them that I had a closer friendship with. So for the most part, he's on my memorial wall of ex close friends, and who knows if he'll ever come around, because the only way I can keep in touch with him is by Facebook. But I think I had, he was one of the few people that, or the many that I accidentally blocked. I think it was by accident, but I don't mean that. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's just faded, our friendship, and who knows if he'll ever come around, But yeah, I just thought I'd address this, on where my friendship is at with Arnaldo. If it just seemingly faded, just like my friendship with Mary. But for the most part, I think he's we did not end in bad terms, like me and Tristan did, because of me and my misunderstanding. But we'll see. If he comes around, cool. I don't know if I'll ever run into him again, but if that's the case, then hey, who knows? But anyways, yeah, man, this is all I gotta say. This is gonna be one of the many, or should I just say the several, my friendship with topics I'm gonna cover today. So I'll come out to a next one after this. So peace.